Alright, your job is to factor each of these equations. There's two basic factoring techniques, one when you have a common factor and one when you do not have a common factor. If you take a look at the first problem, the three terms do not have a common factor. So basically what we're trying to figure out is what two numbers multiply to give you -8, but add up to give you -2. If you can figure it out right away, great. Otherwise you can list out the factors of -8. And then we should get -4 and +2. You can check by distributing. X times x is x squared. 2x and -4x combine to give you the -2x, and then -4 times 2 gives you -8. For the second equation, we actually have a common factor. So 2x squared and -10x have a couple common factors, and we want to pick out the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor that goes into both of these terms is 2x. So we factor that out, and then you just do like the opposite of the distributive property. What do we have to multiply 2x by to get 2x squared? Well, that would be x. And what do we have to multiply 2x by to get -10x? That would be -5. Number 3 is probably the trickiest of them because we have a leading coefficient of 2. No common factor, so this is going to be more similar to the setup in problem 1. We're going to have two sets of parentheses. In order to get 2x squared, we need to multiply 2x and x together. Then we look at the last term, the -3. So I have to either multiply 3 and -1 or -3 and 1. What's kind of more important is to figure out where the 3 and the 1 go first. So for example, if I try putting the 3 here and the 1 here, what ends up happening is 2x times 3 gives me 6x, and 1x times x gives me 1x. Even if one of these is negative, we will not have a difference of -1x. So I know that that's not the correct placement. So I just try them in the other position. Put the 3 here and the 1 here. And now I can see that I'm going to get a 3x and a 2x, and one of them is going to have to be negative. Since I want them to combine to give me a -x, I'm going to want the 3x to be the negative and the 2x to be positive. Now checking using the distributive property, I get 2x squared, +2x and -3x combine to give me -x. -3 times 1 gives me -3. For the final problem, we have a greatest common factor again. Greatest common factor, both of these terms, is 4x. And then we do the opposite of the distributive property. What do we have to multiply 4x by to get 8x squared? Well, that would be 2x. And a lot of people are tempted to just close this off because they say, if I take a 4x out of 4x, there's nothing remaining. But actually, you need to still multiply by -1 to get that -4x. Check using the distributive property, and we're good to go.